If your Instagram algorithm is anything like mine, then it is run rampant with conspiracy theories. But as a person who has looked into my fair share of conspiracy theories, today I want to talk about the ones on Instagram specifically.
They done ripped his damn nose off.
My goal isn't to debunk or to prove any of these. I'm gonna show you what the people are saying, sometimes give my thoughts, sometimes not, and then you decide what's going on. We're gonna look into a bunch of weird things here. They are everywhere on Instagram. And if you enjoy this kind of video, subscribe, because we do it all the time. Without further ado, let's begin. If there's a perfect place to start, it is what happened in the Bayside Mall New Year's Day of 2024. Dozens and dozens of videos appear online about a mall surrounded by police officers. The story given by these police officers is that a large group of teenagers started fighting and fireworks were let off in the mall, which in turn made people think that it was a gun, and the large police presence is because they thought a shooting was occurring. This is a good reason for a very large police turnout. But there is a group of people who think that this is not the real story. Well, what do they believe? Well, supposedly the mall began to shake for a moment, and portals opened up where shadowy aliens began to walk out of said portals, and the patrons of the mall in panic all ran, and some caught brief glimpses of them as they phased in and out of reality. After everyone fled, the men in black came in, removed all photo evidence of this, as well as dashcam footage from the police, and that's why we have nothing to prove it. First problem with this is that there is a video of a large group of teenagers fighting, at least one. And people often say that the large police turnout is like way too much for teenagers fighting. But if they thought that there was a shooting occurring, it makes sense. There also was probably a lot of officers on duty, being New Year's Day. That's whenever a lot of people are out drinking, partying. It's common for there to be a lot of law enforcement just waiting to do something. If a large firework went off, that could explain the building shaking a little bit, as well as the portals. It could have been the fireworks flashing, you know? But there is one image that everybody points to that is the alien caught on camera. It is right in front of the mall. You could see some figure walking through. It is so far away and so zoomed out that it is hard to tell what it is. But as this person from a Facebook comment section says, let me clear this up for you all. First, there were no brawl fights between teenagers. The mall shook a little, like it had a little quake, then a portal opened up, and that's why aliens came and everyone panicked and started running. Each and every footages from phone cam, dash, digital, and body cam has been taken away from everyone because the men in black warned those, especially to the police, to keep quiet and remain shut if they want to stay alive. Mind you, very few tried sharing it and they disappeared. Guys, don't you get it? NASA has sent the Voyager Golden Records, our two 12-inch gold-plated copper phonographs records, launched on the Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 spacecraft in 1977, containing sounds and images selected to portray the diversity of life and culture on Earth for any potential extraterrestrial civilizations that might encounter the probes in interstellar space. Basically, what I'm trying to say is NASA has sent a signal out almost 50 years ago, and now we're getting. Thank you for clearing that up. Unfortunately, the only video we got of the alien got the Bigfoot treatment, and so we will never know for sure. This one is a conspiracy theory that really pushes the envelope for the word theory. Sachir Balaji was an engineer working for OpenAI, the organization behind ChatGPT. Sachir was found dead in his home at the age of 26, with, according to the police, no evidence of foul play, alluding to the fact that it was self-inflicted. What makes this interesting is how before he was found dead, he was a whistleblower for OpenAI, making claims that they had been committing copyright infringement, and he supposedly had documents to prove it on the matter. He was also willing to testify against OpenAI. In Tucker Carlson's video with the CEO of OpenAI, he really hit the nail on the head, stating that Sachir had just returned from a vacation, there was no sign of a struggle, blood in multiple rooms, as well as the fact that he just ordered takeout food. And if that isn't enough, the wires on the security camera in his apartment building were cut. Sam Altman, the aforementioned CEO of OpenAI, was very uncomfortable, which, you know, would make sense if you're basically being accused of murdering somebody, but was also very dodgy, answering questions with questions, as well as admitting that he read the medical report but never spoke to the police. As of now, the investigation was closed due to the ruling of no foul play suspected. The parents of the victims feel very strongly otherwise and are begging the police to do a little bit more work, which they really don't like to do. If you've ever seen my serial killer in Texas video, police just love to say no evidence of foul play. I think it makes their jobs easier. But the question still remains, what happened to Sachir Balaji that night? I hope I did a good job pronouncing his name. Okay, now I'm going to get into this Planned Parenthood video. It's not going to be political. If you want to see a political video, my last video is the most political I will ever get. And this is probably some viewer discretion advised. This is a little bit uncomfortable, I feel like, for a lot of people. But in 2015, there was an undercover operation, which included making fake identities and hidden cameras, recording a conversation with higher-ups at Planned Parenthood. The main two people were Dr. Anne Shutain and Tram Nguyen, as they were explicitly talking about the sale and distribution of parts from aborted fetuses, both the organs and the body parts. Now, there's a whole lawsuit, an ongoing case about this video between the Center for Medical Progress and Planned Parenthood that would take a whole video to explain itself. But the way that they talk about dealing organs is a strange and callous way, but it may be legal. Planned Parenthood has authority to sell to researchers these organs and body parts as long as that it is not for profit. The dilemma is some certain verbiage they are caught using when they didn't know they were being recorded, such as the quote, "pull off a leg or two," hinting at them hiding partial birth abortions, as well as seemingly black market offering through email to sell each liver for $750, a piece of a liver, and a thymus for $1,600. These were discovered in federal court, and the case is still seemingly ongoing. The link to the full video is below, but just be warned, they speak very apathetically. I think that any normal person feels a little uncomfortable when they're talking about this stuff the way that they are. Okay, I'm going to talk about some political figures, and we're going to lump this into one section. This is probably going to be by far the most interesting section, but it's also going to be like a lot of information all at once. And with that being said, let's start with our boy JD Vance, who I think has been avoiding at least my radar for a while. Whenever you see all the other things going on, JD Vance isn't in the spotlight necessarily. But if you are from America, which like half of my viewers aren't, which is kind of cool, he is the current vice president of the US. He was Trump's running mate in 2024, and he's a man of many names. Born James Donald Bowman, changing it to James David Hamill after his mother's third husband, changing it again in 2014, replacing Hamill with Vance, and then just simplifying it to JD Vance when he began his political career in 2016. He was also pretty strongly against Trump back then. But it just seems like as time has passed, he's changed his mind. And this isn't inherently impossible or fishy on its own, but there is something a little fishy about what's going on here when you dig deeper. Vance's mentor while he worked in investing was a man named Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel later backed JD Vance when he ran for Senator of Ohio in 2022. It was not a small donation or just a backing with like words, you know? It was a donation of $15 million. This to this day is the largest donation ever to a single senator campaign. Peter Thiel is a venture capitalist, the kind of person who only spends money to make money. And he would make a lot of money from his investment with JD. A couple years later, JD would change his stance completely on Trump and run beside him, winning the 2024 election. But what made Peter Thiel so much money is JD Vance and Donald Trump would soon contract a little company known as Palantir for $10 billion over the next decade to provide AI-driven services. What kind of services, you might ask? Well, they are supposed to be helping with law enforcement, counterterrorism, defense and intelligence communities, i.e. the spying on the people, i.e. taking all the data on what they know and like highlighting threats, kind of. You know the story at this point. It's like the Futurama Oracle that predicts crimes before it even happens kind of thing. But it seems like JD Vance and Peter Thiel of Palantir made out like bandits in this little transaction. And this is probably the only reason JD Vance ran with Donald Trump in the first place, is to get Palantir a defense contract. It's insane. Also, his weird interactions with Erica Kirk, everybody's speculating on. Her husband just died last month, and some people are speculating that these two are about to get together in some big power play. He's gonna divorce his wife, they're gonna get together, and we're gonna talk more about the Kirk rabbit hole in a little bit. But I just wanna take a moment here to talk about this letter going around. It was posted on the official Israel Heritage Foundation amongst many other like prominent, semi-prominent accounts. And it's to the family of Charlie Kirk. The only issue is the date that's on the letter. It dates to September 2nd, 8 days before Charlie Kirk was assassinated. Now, there's a possibility this letter is fake, but there is nearly no way it's a typo. You see, both regular calendar date and the Hebrew calendar were dated for September 2nd. It would not be a typo to mess it up twice. Unless, of course, the letter predates the incident, which has implications of its own, and I cannot confirm this letter's validity. So I want to make that clear. But speaking of assassinations, look at this interesting view of Trump's assassination attempt, where we see a photographer is ushered in by Trump's staff, perfectly capturing the iconic photo. If we compare this to, you know, like Reagan's assassination attempt, to where he is taken to the ground, shielded, and gone within seconds, it is eerily different. The photographers are brought in, the flag is seemingly lowered, and Trump poses for the photo. I'll let you be the judge of this strange video. Fine, I'll do it. I'll talk about Charlie Kirk. For the last few months, this has been unavoidable. I'm not on Instagram that much, but every time I do, I see new angles showing me a trapdoor, the Hunter Kozak practicing his reactions, the chair going all Gmod, and YouTube is gonna hate me for this, so if you made it this far, consider subscribing. It'll at least make this worth it. I'm gonna be quick here. Let's go over the strange videos that have been popping up all over. You decide what it means. All I'm gonna tell you is what other people are saying. And let's start with the Dairy Queen. There is a supposed photo released of Tyler Robinson, the alleged murderer of Charlie Kirk, in the same outfit buying an ice cream cone just about 6 hours after the assassination. From all the research I've tried to do, this photo cannot be proven real or not real so far. It seems like it is from that day. What's weird about this is that a man supposedly went to said Dairy Queen, just a few weeks after the event happened, and the Dairy Queen was completely shut down, abandoned, empty. This is weird. People are saying it was like a movie set. Other sources are saying that the issue was that the man who went to the Dairy Queen went to the wrong Dairy Queen, and that's why it's abandoned. As for the aforementioned trapdoor, you see very quickly after the incident occurred, construction began on the site. They paved over the ground where the tent was and revealed that a trapdoor was nearly right beneath where Charlie Kirk was sitting. Another video shows the angle of the shooting, and this was one of the first videos to get widespread popularity, and it is like a confirmed real video. But people notice that the chair on the side is thrown onto the stage, where it seemingly glitches through the stage. Whenever I looked for an explanation of this, they said it was just a camera artifact, that it was just due to the low quality of the video, shaky movements, and that caused the chair to look like it falls through the stage. But I don't know. And as for what all three of those things I just told you mean, that's up to you to attempt to put that puzzle together. For the sake of my channel, I'm not going to be putting the pieces together. Is it all a coincidence? Or is there something sinister going on? That's your prerogative. But with that being said, I have a couple more pieces for your puzzle if you're interested, and it has to do with some strange behaviors noticed at the event with some people involved. Let's begin with a quick one. Hunter Kozak was supposedly rehearsing his reaction. In this video, we can see Hunter Kozak, the man who was asking the question to Charlie Kirk as he was shot, reacting in nearly the same exact way as he does when the incident occurs. This is before it happens, obviously, and so people are speculating that he was rehearsing it. It is entirely possible that this is just a reaction in his repertoire. It doesn't seem to be a common reaction for most people. It's pretty intense. I don't know what somebody could have told him there to where he's screaming, putting his hands on his head, but again, I don't know. What I do know is that there's a slight inconsistency with some stories, and I have seen so many angles and analyses of this event. And in this one, we see Michael McCoy immediately, within seconds, not even seconds, milliseconds, crazy fast, seems to pick up his phone and make a phone call as soon as the incident occurs. Now, on the turning point, they said that he was actually covering his ears because, you know, the shot was loud, everybody was screaming, and so what actually happened is he covered his ears and walked away. Not run, walked away. When Erica Kirk did an interview, she is quoted saying that she was called within seconds by Mikey, and the stories don't add up. Also, how does someone react that quickly to calling? You know, like, you would think if somebody just got shot, your reaction is to run away, not, it's genuinely this movement. Like they were already on the phone. He didn't even press a button. That's just one of the weird ways the staff behaved on this day. And I could probably make a whole video about just that, but that's not this video. Let's wrap this up with something light-hearted. In the online dating world, there is a plethora of apps. You have Tinder, Match.com, Hinge, and all of them are owned by the same company. You see, this little group, Match Inc., has become a powerhouse in the e-dating world, owning a third of the entire market and buying up so many dating companies. They have reached a total of 45 brands. At this point, I think everyone is well aware of the selling of your information. It is the most valuable commodity right now. It's so you can be targeted for what you're interested in, and ads can be most effective. But these dating apps have an absurd amount on you. They have your likes, your dislikes, your birthdays, your IDs, your texts, your calls, your videos, your photos. It's no different than social media, but this is supposed to be kind of like an intimate thing. You may be exposing yourself to these companies in ways you did not necessarily think about. But the weirdest part of it all isn't that they just have all of this information. You see, Match Inc. was looking for a new CEO, and they found this little guy named Spencer Raskoff, who was the founder of Zillow before stepping down. But even more crazy is that he was a board member on Palantir. We can't escape this company anymore, y'all. As for what I think that means, I think that means that this company now has possible backdoor access, at least a person very willing to work with them to access all your information on these sites. And again, this company, in quoting here, is to aid and assist the Department of Defense, intelligence community, law enforcement, and to aid in areas like military intelligence, counterterrorism, and law enforcement investigations. It seems very likely these dating apps will have backdoor access to everyone's information. Perfect. Even more of a reason to not do that, to not get on those apps. And with that being said, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I know I barely scratched the surface on Instagram conspiracies. I tried to not cover things I already have before. So if you're interested, I can always make a part 2 if you let me know, as well as I have a catalog of conspiracy theory talks that cover a lot of things going on Instagram too. But as always, thank you for watching and stay tuned.